Good news, there's 3 things to discipline. You don't have to be perfect at everything. You have to pick your spots, know your strengths and the outcomes you want, moving towards it on the first of every single month. You do a whole life review. Woke up today ready for an awesome week. I hope you woke up today motivated, inspired, ready to jump out of bed, go have an awesome week. And if you didn't, if you're just exhausted, but you're here, good first move. Engaging personal development every single day so that we start rewiring your brain for more confidence, ambition, energy, connection, love, joy. And who can bring that better? The Kern Lima is in the house, people. How you doing, Jamie?
Good morning. Happy Growth Day. So good to be here.
This week's theme on the Growth Day morning show with me and Jamie is how do you become more focused and disciplined? And I was joking with Jamie in advance. I said, we can't just call it Discipline Week, because if you do, people won't watch because they feel guilty or they don't like it. But if you say, come focused and disciplined, then everyone's like, oh, I'm game for that.
I know. That's the thing is we want everything but don't want to do the work, which I'm right there. That's how I feel most days. But yeah, no, I thought I watched pieces of the Super Bowl. I thought Amanda Gorman's beautiful poem was wonderful. And I missed the halftime show. I saw a bunch of recaps of it. I missed that. And yeah, what's interesting is we talk about focus and discipline, and it is Tom Brady, whoever anyone is rooting for, his focus and discipline on not just football, but all of the areas of his life, right? Fascinating. And also inspiring. And I think there's a commonality between so many people that achieve great things or, feel joy in their relationship or make it through the day as a parent doing homeschooling for the first time. I think there's daily habits and there's that learning of focus and discipline. And it's a lot, but I think it really changes your life. And I think the thing I've been seeing all over online this morning is a lot of people, not just talking about the Super Bowl and talking about whatever, but actually talking about Tom Brady's habits and Tom Brady's focus and what does he do in his day-to-day life with his sleep, with his diet, all of those things, because I think people are fascinated by how do you perform at the highest level for so long and continue that. And it's not just the football. It's not just the thing you're doing. It's kind of like everything, right?
Yeah. And here's the good news. You actually need to be disciplined in so fewer things than you think you do.
Thank you for that. Can you elaborate? Because that's good news this morning.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is good. Brendon Burchard's got some good news for you today. You have to be way less disciplined than you think you do. You only need to be disciplined at just a few moving, consistent pieces in your life. And when you get that, when you do those things, those habits or those things you want to be disciplined about, what I always call needle movers, the things that move the needle forward, that like peg out the board or make you go faster or more efficient or effective. When you get disciplined about the things that really matter, it's great because all the guilt for all the things that you don't show up for, or you're not awesome at, kind of goes away because the momentum and the progress and the fulfillment and the joy of the things that are the big things move you forward. And so I always tell people, like, here's what for all those who are like, oh my God, discipline, please don't talk about it. There's good news. There's 3 things to discipline. 1, scheduling. That's the core of discipline is you have to schedule something and choose to do it and choose to prioritize it. Discipline comes from prioritization. If you don't have the prioritization, discipline won't stick. So, okay, all we got to do, let's schedule something. Put it on the calendar. That's step 1. Step 2, show up. No matter what, just show up. You don't have to show up in a good attitude. You don't have to show up perfect. You don't have to show up with your hair did. You just have to show up. People are like, how are you and Jamie so disciplined to do a morning show? Well, we schedule it at 7:30 a.m. We try to start at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and we just show up. Some days we know what we're going to do. Most we have no clue.
Do you know how many people in the personal growth space, people that are multiple New York Times bestsellers, big shows, all that stuff. They're like, how are you going? Wait, you and Brendon, you're going live like Monday through Friday every day? I'm like, every day. We're starting week 5 this week. They're like, you're going live, like that's like a keynote or a fireside chat or live I'm like, every single day. Yeah. And we're doing it. So cheers to that. Cheers to everyone part of this with us this morning. We're all growing together. We're all getting inspired together. I love this so much. One thing I wanted, sorry to interrupt your thought, but one thing I want to just point out to everyone, just a moment of appreciation for Brendon and for how you deliver these, not just from your research, but from your, whole career of doing this. There are awesome people in the personal growth space who I love and I love watching on stage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's not the research behind it. There's not all the framework, the how-to, all the actual things, some of which aren't sexy. Like, I don't want to think about focus and discipline, right? But listen, at the end of the day, so many people maybe I get an amen on this. There's a lot of people out there that are also entertaining in the personal growth space, but then you leave and you're like, okay, how is this going to, like, what am I going to implement in my own life to actually bring more joy and bring more better relationships and more focus and help my dreams come to fruition. And the thing I have so much appreciation for your work, Brendon, is that, you're so different in that you're also really fun to watch on stage. No one dances better than you on stage. Like,
yes,
all the
thank you very much.
All the
I work very hard on my dance moves, people.
You're so funny. All the things like some of my favorite speakers, but you're able to bring these core things, the stuff that isn't. No, seriously, people will agree with me because I bet you a lot of people joining us, right? Yes. See, I see April says yes. Jonathan. See, a lot of people. We've all been to a lot of stuff and it's fun and it's entertainment and it's inspiring. But then also, what are the things we can actually do in our real life that really make a difference? And I feel like you bring both. And I think that's so rare. So I'm just sitting here as your friend, just appreciating it because I'm like, oh, wait, Brendon, tell me the 3 things. I actually, you see what I'm saying as well? Because I think we're all in this together and you have such a vast background with High Performance Institute, with all the research, everything. Sorry. Okay. 3 things that we need to do. We don't need to be disciplined in everything. We don't need to be disciplined in everything. But you're saying these 3 things really move the needle.
I'll give you 3 principles for greater discipline. And then I'll tell you the actual 3 things to do to generate more discipline in such a way that your personal growth grows, that you feel like alive and connected and meaningful and joyous on this journey, because that's what really matters. I mean, discipline sucks unless in some ways the outcome is progress, greater engagement and aliveness of life, and greater success in whatever way you measure that. So the 3 principles of all of discipline comes down to, number 1, mastering your schedule. I know that sounds so boring, but it is so absolutely fundamental to your focus, to your progress, to your health, to everything. It doesn't matter if you say, okay, I only want to schedule 1 thing today. That's fine with me. I'm not trying to own every hour of your life, but that 1 thing better be awesome and it better be a needle mover. So scheduling, show up when it's scheduled. And then the 3rd thing, which is most important, is a principle for all of discipline. No discipline happens unless on a real consistent basis, unless you have social connection. All of the research shows the most productive people, the most focused people, the people who are most fulfilled in doing meaningful work have attached a meaning that their focus, intention, their hard work is attached to social connection, meaning I'm going to show up for this because it's going to make me a better mom or parent. I'm going to get healthy so I have more energy for the kids. I am going to do this project so my team and company grows, so we serve more people and we make an impact. It's like the hard work must be attached to impact, but the impact isn't just self, like, oh, I'll get this. It has to have a social connection. Like you have to have a reason to show up over and over and over for others. It's why we always teach in high performance. You have to have a little card that says, who needs me on my A game today? Yeah. Like, I am disciplined because I wouldn't be less disciplined doing a morning show. I'm more disciplined doing a morning show because Jamie's there. She's waiting on the other end. If I don't get there, I feel like a chump. So that's important, Okay, so before I tell you the 3 things I think you should be disciplined at. What are 3 things you think people should get disciplined at in their life to enjoy life better, or to have more success, or happiness in that?
Yeah, no, I think that's so powerful. And I always talk about, the idea of doing something bigger than yourself, right? Attaching a meaning to it that's bigger than yourself a lot, right? And I think hearing how you put it is having that social element to it, or that social component. And I think one thing just to call out on that is sometimes people don't know, well, how do I, they haven't attached that that point of identifying how is what they're doing impacting on a social level. And so just to give an example of that, just to kind of break it down, I think that it can be a result of a result. And what I mean by that, this morning, because I have book press all day today. So I'm not missing my morning walk, right? I walk for an hour every single morning. And so today I did it at 4 a.m. Ooh. I did not want to get up at 4 a.m. I didn't want to be outside freezing at 4 a.m. What I know, and that could be the thing I'm disciplined about. So if you just take that, we're like, okay, well, what does your walk have to do with something that's social connection or bigger than yourself, right?
It's preparing you to do a good job for others later on.
Exactly.
So you're in a place.
Well, here's the thing. I literally don't want to do it at 4 a.m., right? But what I remember is exactly what you're saying. And it's the attachment to it. And what I mean by that is, on the days I have missed my morning walk, I notice a big difference later in the day. I notice that I'm not as sharp. I notice that when my friends call me, my advice isn't as on point, or I'm not as great of a listener because I'm not able to be as present. I notice that I am less joyful, I feel the day less if I don't do that 1 hour I don't want to do of that morning walk, right? And so the way I'm able to show up and serve or impact or give or be a parent to my 2 little ones or any of that stuff is impacted if I don't have that discipline or that focus of just doing a morning walk for an hour. So I see it in real time, the impact. And so I choose, okay, for me, a walk seems so simple. And with COVID, sometimes I literally walk in circles. Like we were in lockdown in California and weren't allowed to even walk on the streets, right? So I did it in my little small driveway. Or some days it's around the kitchen. Yes. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, for me, that seems like a little thing, but for me and what I've noticed is that's actually a big thing, right? And so one question, Brendon, is, because I think this way of thinking, right? I see everyone typing, schedule it, show up, social connection. We can process what that is, but then processing, well, wait a minute, what does that mean in my real life? So everyone who's part of with us now live on Facebook and live on Instagram, thinking through what are those big things that are needle movers? Because we get them in theory or in concept, but sometimes a needle mover can be, for you, can be as simple as the one I just shared, which is like my morning walk, even though I did it at 4 a.m. today, because I know for me, that's a big needle mover with everything else. And with what Brendon's talking about of social connection, because for me, that's how I transcend getting out of myself and not feeling the day and being tired and actually serving and connecting and inspiring. And by the way, I just realized the 3 things you said are part of that morning walk, right? Schedule it, show up, even when you don't want to. And then, that social
realize
connection.
Doing it for yourself is helping you care for others. That's
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's so good. Morning walk. That's a simple needle mover. It's that old saying. Ethan, my partner at Growth, he always says that little hinges swing big doors. Little things you have to do to swing a big door. And so here's some ideas. First, before I tell you all, do this for yourself right now. Type in the chat down below or comment down below, what are the things if you're disciplined about, your life improves? Like, what areas do you feel like, oh, when I'm on my A game here, or when I do this consistently, when I show up for this, life is better. So maybe you guys can share some of your routines or some of your habits in the comments, because we actually do read these. And it'd be super cool to know, like, what is it for you? What do you what are you great at being disciplined at, and it moves the needle for you? Or also, maybe you can share, what do you suck at being disciplined? What do you wish, what's something you feel like, gosh, if I was more disciplined about that, my life would really improve? Because I think we can all learn from where we're great and where we also struggle. Because, struggling, for me, for discipline, I definitely struggle in most areas of my life with discipline, which would surprise people. They're like, what, really? Like for me, I'm incredibly undisciplined at email. Like I wish I was more disciplined about email, getting in there, doing it on a consistent basis, making sure everyone's got their reply. I just suck at email. The good news is I'm good at all the other things that moves the business forward, that matter to me and actually make the business grow. So you don't have to be perfect at everything. You have to pick your spots, know your strengths and the outcomes you want, move them towards it. But I'm seeing a ton of people. Exercise is a big one coming up. Doing your planners, doing your morning routines. I'm seeing that. Diet, exercise, all that. We call them meds in GrowthDay. If you haven't heard that from High Performance Academy 2007, like you got to take your meds: meditation, exercise, diet, sleep, and then RX. Good relationships and supplementation. Like when those are on point, bam, everything's good. You become this annoying in life. Okay.
No, it's so good. And I know one of your friends, Ariana Huffington, doing so much even to talk about the importance of sleep, right?
Yeah.
I think we're in this society, especially for people living in the US and then some other countries as well, where it's like we're trained to think sleep is for, someone who's lazy. And it's like, oh no, if you're going to, have your best life, your top performance, your most all the things that it's like sleep is so critical. And Ariana Huffington doing amazing things.
You get sleep right, the rest of things line up. So that's a fundamental discipline, like having your, we call it 3-2-1 sleep. 3 hours before bed, no food. 2 hours before bed, stop working. 1 hour before bed, stop the screens. And you know what? Everyone goes, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Or I'm like, no, what it means is you haven't actually tried it for 10 days. Because if you try that for 10 days, you will never, ever go back. Because you will feel so good. You'll be more focused. You'll be more productive. And people, I don't have time for that. I'm like, no, you're losing time because you feel like crap. People don't realize if you feel like crap, you're losing time. You're not as efficient, effective, as creative, as engaged. Like you lose when you feel not good. And I know that's hard because we have plenty of people here who are struggling with health issues, from mental health issue all the way to like physical bad, like they got a bad medical report and they're like, ugh. So I don't say this to pretend it's perfect and easy for everybody. I say it to like, we have to know those areas that will move the needle for us and do our best. Yeah. Let me share the high performance side of this real fast, because I said there's 3 principles, right? Schedule it, show up, attach social connection. But now here's the things I would do. If you said, Brendon, if you could only be disciplined about 3 things, what would you do? And it's not what you all think. It's totally not what you all think. And this is very much that makes me happy and progress in life. So they're not sexy. The number one thing, if I could give anyone a discipline to always do, on the first of every single month, you do a whole life review. When that calendar hits 1, as in the first of the month, you look at every major area of your life, you score yourself, you ask how you'd like to improve that, and what could you do this month? Because most people never improve their life because they never face their life.
Yeah.
You have to look at it. So every first of the month, that's for those who are new to us. GrowthDay actually began because I said, let's do our personal development on the first of the month. So I go live for 2 hours in GrowthDay. So if you're not a member, go to growthday.com, because I do a full personal development seminar on the first of every single month. Because I feel like if we start the month off, we nail that, we start it with good attitude, energy, but also you're looking into the month and asking, is the way I've scheduled this month going to help me move towards the lifestyle I want or the accomplishment of the major 3 projects I'm working on in my life?
And also, if we don't do this, I feel like it is so easy. And how many people can relate to this? Where if you don't do this, all of a sudden you blink and you're like, oh, it's halfway through the month. Or, oh, 3 months have gone by. I don't even know how did this even happen, right? Yeah. How many times have we done that? We're like, wait a minute, it's Thanksgiving. Like, wait a minute, it's spring break. And it's like your life just flies by in a blur.
This is for those who have the high performance planner, you know this page super well. This is your monthly review section in the high performance planner. And what it does is it makes you look at the 10 major areas of your life, from health to mental, emotional, partner or love, family, friends, mission, experiences, spirit, finances, learning, growth. It helps you reflect on the things you learned in the last month, learn about others, learn about yourself, what you're grateful for, the main priorities coming up, the decisions you needed to make or could make, your monthly review, and orienting yourself to your year goals and 3-year goals. Like, if I don't do that on the first of the month, what happens is the middle of the month, what am I doing? I might be showing up, but I'm showing up in a hot mess all the time because I don't have direction.
Yeah.
So if I could give you anything, start the first of the month, super clear about that month. If that's all you did, I promise you'd be more engaged with your life. Second thing I do, I believe another review is needed every Sunday. So Sunday, do your weekly review and your weekly planning. I don't care if it takes 10 minutes, an hour. Some of y'all are crazy. Y'all do like 2-3 hour, like introspective, like, LSD journeys. I don't know what the heck's going on. I think it's important to go, okay, on Sunday, is this upcoming week? Am I clear about what I want of that? Am I clear about how I can serve? Am I clear about these little slots of time? Do they make sense to me? I mean, just that it can take so fast. Or just reflect.
I'm laughing because so many people now, I have not done this, and I'm not judging. So many people are going on plant medicine retreats recently that I've heard about. A lot of people. So anyways, I'll report back once they tell me how they go. But a lot of people are doing that. You just reminded me of that. Anyways, Sunday, yes, planning the week. By the way, Mel Robbins, GrowthDay coach, someone oh my gosh.
I love Mel.
Blow the roof off the building, Mel Robbins, like #1 female speaker in the world, highest requested female speaker. Amazing. GrowthDay coach. Sorry, not to get on a tangent, but I'm so fired up. People like Jenna Kutcher, Mel Robbins, people that you typically have to like travel somewhere, pay all this money to go to this big event just to hear them speak, are going to be live inside GrowthDay, which I'm so excited about. But just to add one thing, I was watching Mel's Instagram stories, and she just was mentioning that every Sunday, exactly what you said, she goes through and plans out her week. And I try to do the same thing as well, because otherwise, especially if you're juggling other people in your life, whether it's a partner or kids or teammates or a group you're part of or whatever, it's like planning it out. It's big. But anyway, a lot of people I know do the same thing. So, okay, Sundays, that was part 2. Sorry, I got all fired up about Mel Robbins for a second.
It's so good. Yeah, if you guys don't know Mel, please follow her on Instagram, but also join us GrowthDay officially, because she trains you every month for an hour as well. And so you're getting like basically a dozen of the best personal development people training you throughout the month so that you're just on your A game more. Because part of discipline, you just need to be part of a community that's moving that way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pulled into discipline because my peer group and the people I'm learning from, with all this personal development being busted in my head every day, I'm just like, oh yeah, you need those reminders,
That's why I love this morning show too, because energy is contagious. You know what I mean? And we all are surrounded by enough energy throughout the day that's not at a high vibration, most of us, right? We're surrounded with all the things and all the people and all the news and all the problems. And it's like, but energy is contagious. So it's like starting your morning out. By the way, my growth. So just so you know, Brendon, it's 14 days from my book launch. So I'm officially now double fisting coffee in the morning because of the 4 a.m. So I have the GrowthDay and then I have the Believe It mug. So
I love that.
You're going to see me with 2 cups every day because, okay, wait, but you have 3 points. You have 3.
Yeah, so this is my actual mug that I drink out of all day, but on the internet, apparently it looks super huge. It's just 20 ounces, but look how huge this thing looks on the screen. So everyone makes fun of me for drinking this on my Zoom calls. They're like, what is that?
What is that? Yeah, that actually looks huge.
Doesn't this look obnoxious? I don't
do you have your GrowthDay too, right? You have that one?
Yeah, I got the GrowthDay one you sent me, and then I've got.
Okay, perfect.
It's not that much bigger.
I'm going to send you.
Third thing. I got it. Okay, shoot. I know we're going to go over time. Okay, so third thing.
Yeah.
All right, listen. If I could give you 3 things to move the needle in your life, number 1 is a monthly review. On the first of the month, look out for them. And notice, please don't think that this or the Sunday review, which is the second point, is just about your schedule. You are reviewing the major parts of your life. You're connecting with them. You're scoring them. You're asking what more you desire there. And what's something simple you can do to improve that area of your life each month. It doesn't have to be huge life transformation, because look, transformation takes time. You might just like this little thing, this thing, but being aware of it, that's important. So the monthly, then the Sunday, and then you have, I don't know, everyone already wrote this in their things and they just know it to be true. You got to win your mornings again and bring intention for, I think, 2 things every day. If we can bring intention for 2 things every day, we win that day. To me, the first one is I'm going to bring the joy to this day. I'm going to choose my attitude. I'm going to develop a mindset that is unshakable, that is joyful, that is, I'm going to be in every room. It doesn't matter if I'm the loudest. I'm going to try to be the most generous and grateful person in that room. I'm just going to bring good energy. Be responsible for the energy you are projecting onto others and into this world. So I think for me, that intention of, I have an intention to have joy each day. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to make that happen, because sometimes life doesn't do it for you. Yeah. They just doesn't. So I'm going to bring the joy. So that's that's an intention. So what I'm saying is the third discipline is every day you have intentions for feeling life.
Yeah.
For me, feeling life means bring the joy. That's number 1. I'm going to bring the joy. And number 2, I'm going to make a moment with somebody today. Maybe I send them an audio. Maybe it's the way I look at my wife. Maybe it's the thing I call up my mom, and or I send a beautiful appreciation email or text to somebody. But every day, I'm going to bring the joy into the day, and I'm going to make a moment. Because at the end of your life, I learned this, I faced my death twice in my life. You remember these moments and scenes with other people. It's so important to realize that. And so you have to ask, are you going to have enough of those moments and scenes? Are they going to be, at the end of your life, you kind of, if it's true, you see a movie. What are the scenes of that movie going to be? You get to direct that. And I promise the scenes in the movie almost always have these beautiful connections with others. It's like most people don't realize the ending movie of their life is love scenes and connection scenes with other people, where like these like meaningful moments, if you will. Let's just call them meaningful moments. That's what you see at the end, meaningful moments. So if that is true, if it's true, then you have to purposely structure and build in meaningful moments so you love the movie at the end. You know? That you love the movie, that you want to watch the movie again, that you appreciate it, that you're going to bust out the good wine and have that good popcorn with that meaningful movie. And so every day, that's mine. I'm going to bring joy to this day, and I'm going to make moments.
Yeah, that's so good.
You might have different intentions. Maybe your intention is like, I'm going to do this thing as a mom or as a leader or as a whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But if you don't have the intention, the days just blaze by, nothing. You can be working hard. You can get your schedule down. You can have your calendar prioritized with all the tabs and all the different marker colors and everything else. But if there's no intention for feeling today, you were a good robot today.
Yep.
But you didn't.
And we've all had days like that where we feel like a human doing, right? Not a human being. That's so good, Brendon. That's so good. And a moment, a meaningful moment, can be different for every single person. But how many days do we go through and we forget? And a meaningful moment's free. You know what I mean? It's like, how many days do we forget to do that? That's so powerful. I love that. So important. I love that.
So to me, that's funny that the discipline is to have the intention, right?
Yeah.
Every day when you have the intention, or every moment or every experience, when you have the intention, it turns out better. This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.